I was asleep before. That's how we let it happen. When they slaughtered Congress, we didn't wake up. When they blamed terrorists and suspended the Constitution, we didn't wake up then either. Now I'm awake. My name is Offred. I had another name.
Ladies, I have to let you go. It's the law now.
They needed to do it this way. All the bank accounts and the jobs all at the same time. You imagine the airports otherwise?
Run!
No, please don't take her. No!
You girls will serve the leaders and their barren wives. You will bear children for them.
There's an eye in your house.
I'll send you to the colonies. You'll be cleaning up toxic waste and then you'll die.
Tonight is a celebration of Gilead and of what we have achieved.
We only wanted to make the world better.
Better.
Better never means better for everyone.
I want to keep on living for her.
Remember your scripture. Blessed are the meek.
And blessed are those who suffer for the cause of righteousness.
What a fitting day to bring a video to you about a brand new original television series that comes out today, Wednesday, April the 26th of 2017 on the Hulu network, or I believe other networks as well. A television show called The Handmaid's Tale will be airing. It is based on the best-selling novel by Margaret Atwood, and from the trailer itself, I am sure that you saw some of the same themes that I am going to talk about in this video. We are completely being telegraphed that the New World Order is coming, that a big change is on the way, that a new beginning for America and possibly the entire world is definitely on the horizon. You can see that right in the symbolism, I would say, of this particular poster or ad for this show. You've got the 8-pointed star. In fact, each point has has almost like a duality to it, a black and a white. The 88, we know that in occultic numerology, 8 is the number of new beginning. We know that the 88 is the breaking of time and space and a new age that is about to dawn, and something that we are constantly being shown in the movies, in the television shows, in the cartoons, in comic books, in literature in general, even TV commercials and music videos. The New World Order is coming very, very soon, and as we can see, even one of the handmaids that is sitting right over this star of Ishtar, the star of the new beginning of the pagan god Ishtar, or I should say goddess Ishtar and Isis. Again, new beginning. Something is about to happen. I believe we are being shown that the takedown of America is coming, and this is exactly what the New World Order wants, or the Luciferian elite. And as we take a look, as always, with screenshots from the trailer and some information from the internet, let's see if you can spot some of the same things that I am going to discuss in this particular video. I really want to thank Brother Jared Hammond from the Facebook page that posted information regarding this TV show. And again, it is telegraphing to us the very same things that we are being shown over and over and over again. And that is about a dystopian future, okay, that is coming very soon, where women are forced to live as concubines under a fundamentalist theocratic dictatorship. Now, there is even more so, I believe, than meets the eye here. We are being shown a lot of different themes here: martial law, New World Order, women's rights being stripped away from them. In fact, I'm sure much of humanity's rights is being stripped away as well. I believe they're not even telling you the half of it here on IMDb. And let's just take a look right now at some of the screenshots from this trailer. I found it quite interesting that it starts off right away with the main character who is right here, Offred, and she's speaking saying, "I was asleep before. That's how we let it happen." So we're really being told right off the bat what's coming and why. Why? Because we were sleeping, because society has been falling for the lies, for the programming. They've been obsessed with self and just doing their own thing, obsessed with entertainment, and not really wanting to wake up as to what is going on and what we're being shown. And the next scene, we see again Alfred saying that when they slaughtered Congress, we didn't wake up. So something again that really shows possibly the real stupidity of society, that even after them getting rid of Congress, they still didn't wake up. We could possibly say that society already is at a tipping point, or getting to the point where they are completely programmed, they're completely mind controlled, and they just couldn't be bothered to look at what is taking place in the world as we know it. And even in this picture here, you can notice the major bird imagery over here, here, and here in 3 spots, almost making a triangle, a pyramid, with this guy standing in the middle. And could this be possibly the rise of the phoenix that we are being shown here, the rise of the New World Order, the beast system that is coming very, very soon? In fact, you can also see, the red, black, and white New World Order color symbolism, which we will see later on as well. And as we keep going, Olfert says, when they blamed terrorists and suspended the Constitution. Now, that is completely, in my opinion, about martial law that is coming. We know that the elites want to suspend the Constitution of America because right now, that is the one thing that is protecting Americans and possibly even free society from what the New World Order or the elites want to do to them. And that is the all-out control and taking the rights of every single person. And what I found quite interesting about this picture is you got 9 people here sitting on this table. So 9 is a big number to the Illuminati, to the occult. They're also dressed in black and white, which to me is signifying the duality, as above, so below. But we know that 9, we've even heard the term the Council of 9 in the New World Order. But 9 just so happens to represent in Illuminati numerology, which I believe I've shown this article before, but number 9 is the number of divine completion and the number of the fall of man. So we are being shown cryptically that the big fall is coming, that the divine work or the divine completion, the great work of the Freemasons, the great architect Lucifer himself, their great work, the beast system, is about to come into place very, very soon. The final beast kingdom is coming. And as we keep going, we'll see Alfred saying that society still didn't wake up even after all of this happened. So they abolished Congress, the Constitution. We were all asleep and we didn't get it. So what does that tell you? I really believe that it says that the complete control and takeover of society has been successful, that we've got the New World Order with their martial law all over the place. Even right in this scene here, we can see the Humvees, we can see the men with the guns, all dressed in black like the military. We can see even these handmaids walking all over the place dressed in red and white, which we will address later on. But the complete control of society is being shown here. And just as an aside, this looks like the city of Toronto. I recognize this city hall building right here, these curved buildings, because it just so happens to be my capital city where I hail from. So interesting that it's being shown in Toronto. And yet again, this TV series is based on a book by a Canadian author, Margaret Atwood. So funny and fittingly that it's being filmed in Toronto. But anyways, we keep seeing these same colors over and over again, something that I have talked about many times in so many videos and so many of these TV shows, this red, black, and white color symbolism, the same colors that we are being shown. And I believe it all comes from not just the Nazi flag, but even before that, the white, red, and black comes from, I believe, in my opinion, the 4 or 3 of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that bring the judgment, or that begin the judgment of this world. I believe this is where the New World Order colors are really stemming from, and we are constantly being shown that because the final beast kingdom is coming very, very soon. And as we keep going, we see a scene of a workplace, and all of a sudden, this person who is possibly a supervisor or a manager is saying that all the women are suddenly being let go from their jobs, that it is a law now. So basically, a sinister plan awaits the fertile ones to be used as slaves for the ruling class. So could you imagine if you, as a woman, are suddenly being let go from your job for this, to be a slave for the ruling class, all because many are now infertile infertile due to toxic air. So to me, this is more war propaganda or a major cataclysm that is coming, something like a geostorm, even when we talked about in that movie that's actually called Geostorm, about some major natural disaster or something that is coming that, either scorches the sky or causes something so horrible to happen that literally even the air is made toxic and made so that many women are infertile now. And so the ones that are left fertile have a specific job to do in the New World Order that arises. So again, propaganda, I believe, for a major war or a nuke or some kind of propaganda for the same kind of theme, the same things that we were shown in movies like Hunger Games or Divergent or even The Giver, where it always started off with some kind of cataclysm or war, and out of the ashes rose the solution, the order out of chaos, as they love to say. So I believe the same kind of propaganda is being shown yet again. As we keep going, we see the women leaving their jobs, and they're looking all around. They're seeing the army guys, they're seeing the militia all over the place, and then another voice comes on saying they needed to do it this way, all the bank accounts and all the jobs at the same time. Imagine the airports otherwise. So we're being told here that the American people are possibly going to be trapped inside their own country, not able to leave. So, what does this remind you of? I know that as soon as I heard that line about everything being taken down at once, the jobs and the bank accounts and not being able to leave, right away I thought of Trump's wall, something that he has been speaking about for years and obviously still comes up. I'm really wondering now if whether this is something that has been cryptically hinted at the American people, or possibly even the different regions of the world, as to what this great work will entail. So this wall that Trump has been talking about is also been shown in the TV series called Colony. We did a video on this particular television show some time back, but again, it takes place in the city of LA, I believe, in Santa Monica, and they are all encased in this wall. They are trapped. They cannot get out. There is heavy martial law with the guards all over the place. So really, we are being shown the same things over and over again. And just another thing about Colony, yet again, the red, white, and black color symbolism is seen all the time. All right, so there you go, the major New World Order color symbolism. Same kind of thing constantly we are being shown in these television shows and movies that, of course, have to do with the New World Order that is coming very, very soon. So really, again, as we keep going, we see major chaos ensues, courtesy, of course, of the New World Order's plan coming together. People are starting to riot and trying to do something, but really it is too late now, because even though they're trying to rally and get something to happen, it's not going to pan out for them, because now it's too late. As we see that basically, in my opinion, when this time comes, all protests and demonstrations by the public will be met with the full force of martial law. The military will be out there. People will be squashed. Their voices will not be heard. So really, the voice of the people won't mean anything, much longer. We won't be heard because we let the New World Order elite win. We were asleep. We let them take over. We let them go with their scams. We didn't look into things. We didn't investigate things. We blindly believe what the media has been telling us. We let the movies and the TV shows and all of the entertainment program us. We let sports distract us and what have you. This is what is going to be the result, at least in my opinion. I don't mean to speak doom and gloom. I am just trying to put out there a warning, because this is what I see coming to North America very, very soon. And next, we go to a scene where we meet the commander, played by Joseph Fiennes. Now, Alfred's new job is to become his concubine. So, I don't mean to sound rude or perverted, but the reality is that the Illuminati are obsessed with sex, and it's really sad to say. And before I even get into that, again, we see the same false messiah kind of look with the full beard, something like Thor, and something like even what we've seen other cult leaders look like or depicted in different TV shows. But again, this false messiah kind of look as we see here. But really, the Illuminati, these elites, are obsessed with sex, and we're going to see that right now in a bit, because there's even a great article that I pulled from a guy named Tex Mars, and it's actually called "The Illuminati Are Obsessed with sex. Okay, so the word obelisk literally means Baal's shaft or Baal's organ of reproduction. Again, I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound perverted. I'm just trying to present information just to prove a point here. But this should be especially shocking when we realize that we have a gigantic obelisk in our nation's capital known as the Washington Monument. So, he goes on to say, and I will leave this article for you to read for yourself. In my latest video, Baal's Shaft and Cleopatra's Needle appears to have really shocked those who have so far seen it. Viewers report surprise that the Illuminati elite and their secret societies are able to plant and display so much architecture of a vulgar and offensive sexual nature out in the open in plain sight. My in-depth investigation finds that the Illuminati constitutes the world's most obsessed sex cult. Architects and builders of the Illuminati and its secret societies have proven their devotion to Satan's kingdom by honoring and revering the mystery gods and goddesses, and are ever busy creating new sex idols devoted to sacred demons. Okay, so secret society rituals, symbols, logos, art, and architecture is saturated with the covert sexism and rakish debauchery. Take, for example, the Masonic Lodge's square and compass logo, and it gives a description here that Masonic sex perverts, the symbols of the Masonic Lodge are permeated with sexual meaning. The tubal cane pin worn by some Masons symbolizes the male genitals. Okay, and I'll leave that description for you to read for yourself. The familiar Masonic square and compass represents the male mounting the female in the sex act. The G within stands for the holy fire, the act of sexual regeneration. So really this holy fire to me is a perversion of the Ruach HaKodesh and, the spirit of Yahweh. What these people are full of is the spirit of the devil. We know also that the compass and the square in the logo of Freemasonry, in my opinion, represents cryptically the flat earth model, the biblical flat earth, where the compass can make the circle of the earth and the square where the circle sits in. So really, apart from that, again, major sexual imagery with the Freemasons, with the mystery religions in general, and these elites are all practicing these kinds of things. And this article goes on to talk about pyramids and obelisks and circles, the yin yang, and what all of this stuff represents. Again, I will leave that article for yourself, but great channels like ODD TV have done great videos regarding these rituals with women that the Masons do. We can see this is definitely a Masonic lodge here. You've got the all-seeing eye here. You've got the Masonic logos here, and here you've got the Grand Masters of this particular lodge, and they've got a woman performing sexual moves or very provocative things on this particular chair. We've seen this in other videos as well, what the Masons do. This is, again, sex magic. These people are obsessed with this kind of thing, and again, I hate to show this kind of stuff, but really this is what is, I believe, being shown here when we talk about this particular movie, that how Ofred is going to be a concubine for this person, for the commander, as well as the other handmaids are going to be serving the different elite people or the ruling class. And another thing that I believe this connects to is Baal worship, Ashtoreth worship. I've shown this article before, but when we look down here at the practices of worshiping Baal and Asherah, what I found quite fascinating is that Asherah was worshipped in various ways, including through ritual sex. Okay, so although she was believed to be Baal's mother, she was also his mistress. Pagans practice sympathetic magic. That is, they believe they could influence the gods' actions by performing the behavior they wish the gods to demonstrate. Believing the sexual union of Baal and Asherah produced fertility. Their worshippers engaged in immoral sex to cause the gods to join together, ensuring good harvests. This practice became the basis for religious prostitution, which is noted in 1 Kings 14, 23-24. The priest or a male member of the community represented Baal. The priestess or a female members of the community represented Asherah. In this way, God's incredible gift of sexuality was perverted to the most obscene public prostitution. No wonder God's anger burned against his people and their leaders. So I believe the same possible thing is being shown in this television series, that these handmaids, the ones that are fertile, are being kept for the elite, the ruling class, and they are just going to use them for ritual sex and to have children. But really, it's all about Baal, Asherah practices. And, quite fascinating enough, Easter is definitely named after Isis, Ishtar, Ashtaroth. It's all the same thing. This is something that is permeated sadly in the church today. They don't even realize what Easter is. It is a celebration of the goddess Ishtar, Isis, Mystery Babylon, Ashtoreth, the same thing that is mentioned in the Bible. And really, people who say they follow the Messiah should have nothing to do with this. But really, this is the same thing that is being shown to us over and over and over again, and is exactly what Abba Yahweh completely forbid his people to do. So this is not something that is Yahweh is happy about. And again, as we showed this logo at the beginning, this is really what it's all about. The Star of Ishtar, the Star of Isis, the Star of Mystery Babylon. You even got the red here that this handmaid is wearing, possibly symbolizing the womb, the blood, all this, the menstrual blood, all this kind of thing. This is all part of Illuminati, Mystery Babylonian rituals, and we are being shown that possibly this is ritual sex magic that is being depicted in this particular TV series. Again, the Star of Isis with the 8-pointed star, again, the number of new beginning, the new world order that is coming. And again, I found another article about this show from the New York Times, and there was a couple of interesting paragraphs in this particular show, and it starts off down here where it says that the ritual, so this is about the sex ritual that these people do, but where they copulate with the commander and the because of his infertile wife, and of course with the ruling elites. The ritual borrowed from the biblical story of Bilhah and Rachel. Okay, so we know that Bilhah was Rachel's handmaid, and of course the same kind of lingo or terminology being used there, but Bilhah was given to Jacob by Rachel so that she could have children through her. So this is really a perversion of what was happening with Jacob. But as we keep going, we'll see there's something more interesting here. So you'll see, you might guess that the producers added certain on the nose details to be topical. Refugees fleeing for Canada. We've heard that many of the Hollywood stars were claiming that they were going to flee to Canada because when Trump got elected and all that kind of nonsense. But really, is it possible that America is going to become such a place where people will want to flee and come up to Canada? And it says Gilead's leaders leveraging fear of Islamic terrorists, feminist street protests before the regime's crackdown. It's all in the novel. So again, Islamic terrorists, the same, fake narrative. We know that Islamic terrorism, not that it doesn't happen, but it is basically hyped up and possibly staged by the media. Then here's something else I found interesting. I hate to say the story is newly relevant as if it weren't for 3 decades, but face it, when you have a president, aka Trump, who talks about women as if they were squeeze toys, who implied a tough female journalist was on her period, whose administration gathered a room full of male politicians to discuss women's health coverage, well, the viral marketing takes care of itself. So really, Trump, is being shown here, it's already programming people for, treating women badly and, talking about women in a derogatory way. So that is something that already the president of the United States does. And it says here, Gilead, which is this new colony, or who's running the place, is a tyranny of nostalgia, a rape culture that denounces the previous society, ours, for degrading women with pornography. It controls women by elevating them, fetishizing motherhood, praising femininity, but defining it in terms of service to men and children. So again, this show really degrades women and, puts them in bondage. And this is not what Abba Yahweh ever intended for women at all. He brought women, or created women, for man to be a suitable partner, to be a helper, not to be degraded in this way. And sadly, this is what is being shown, in this television series, and I really find it sad the way they are depicting women in this show and in this novel for that matter, because, possibly this could be what is coming later on down the pipe. And again, we see in the next scene women that are being trained for their new job, which is basically to be handmaids, to bear children for the barren wives of the elite. So again, are we being shown, again, ritual sex magic? I found it quite interesting that there are 6 pairs of women here, and they are under the rays of the sun. And we know, according to Nimrod becoming the sun god, that he impregnated his wife, and that's how his son was born. She was impregnated by the rays of the sun. So this like basically Isis and Ishtar being impregnated by Nimrod, the sun god, because you've got the sun rays shining right down on the 6 pairs over here. So again, I think the same kind of thing is being shown to us over and over and over again. And as we keep going, we see one of the handmaids coming and telling somebody that there's an eye in your house. I believe this is a reference to the all-seeing eye of the Illuminati that is watching everyone, possibly having cameras all over the place. The fact that the New World Order has their technology and has their ways of spying on you and keeping their order with the people, keeping them under control. And, you know, again, what I find interesting is the red outfits that these handmaids are wearing. So why do you think that they wear these kinds of things? You know, I find it interesting that people like Nicki Minaj has been shown wearing something very similar. You know, here she showed up to the Grammy Awards back in 2012, and she's with this figure that looks like a Catholic bishop or even a Pope figure. He's got the same Dagon hat, you know, that they love to wear, all pagan worship here, but she's wearing the same kind of red ritualistic outfit. I believe she's depicting possibly Mystery Babylon riding the beast, possibly, okay, what this is representing her. She's even got this picture of Medusa, one of the pagan Greek gods, on her outfit right there. So I believe this could possibly be showing Mystery Babylon riding the beast, okay? Why she's wearing this red outfit, because again, we constantly see this woman in red imagery, very provocative, very sexual, trying to get people excited about this, especially appealing to men. But, you know, again, Mystery Babylon, the confusion, the mother of harlots, exactly a reference, I believe, to Revelation 17. This is why I believe they are wearing these kinds of outfits. And you know, another reason is that even in the rituals of the Druids, the same kind of outfit is being worn by these women, this red and black or just red outfits. So really, the Druids, we know, perform major kinds of rituals. They're into witchcraft, and all kinds of the occult practices are being done by the Druids. So I believe that, again, is why these people or these handmaids in this show are wearing these kinds of things. And you know, as we keep going, we see this scene where basically the handmaids are told, plus anyone else for that matter, that if they don't obey, they'll be sent to the colonies to clean up the toxic waste. I believe this is yet more war and great ecological crisis predictive programming to get society ready for what is coming. And you know, you can see the blood all over the place here. I think we're being shown again the Baal bloodlust yet again, with human blood being spilt here. We have seen this in so many TV shows. We've done videos about that, shows like Santa Clarita Diet and Screamers and True Bloods, and all these shows that love to depict human sacrifice, human blood being spilled. This is what the devil wants. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and he wants to destroy humanity by getting humanity to destroy itself. Really, that's what's going on here. But I think this is, as we talk about this whole cleaning up the toxic waste and people being punished and sent to the colonies if they don't obey, that they have to do this. I believe, again, more ecological crisis coming, and this is exactly the words of David Rockefeller, something that we have mentioned quite a few times on this channel, as he has been quoted as saying, all we need is the right major crisis and the nations will accept the New World Order. So we know that Rockefeller is definitely one of the Illuminati, Jesuit, Kabbalistic Zionist elites. We know that he is definitely part of this. We know he's not alive right now, or so they say. Possibly he's hiding in his bunker, who knows. But the Rockefellers are definitely part of this New World Order plan to bring about this on all of society. And I found this next scene quite fascinating and quite telling. The person comes on saying, tonight is a celebration of Gilead and what we have achieved. So what is the name of Gilead? What does the name Gilead mean? I found it quite interesting that from this baby named Wizard, that Gilead just so happens to be in Hebrew, meaning the hill of testimony or the hill of ascension. You know, when you think of the Illuminati, they believe they are the Illumined ones. They believe that they are going to ascend to the next level. They want to be ascended masters. They think they have all the wisdom and knowledge, and that they hide this from society because we, the regular people, are the profane to them, and they believe they are going to ascend and be like gods, just as as Satan fooled Adam and Eve in the garden, telling them they will be as gods. So the elite have fallen for the same lie, because the devil is up to the same tricks as he has always been. So quite fascinating that Gilead just so happens to mean in Hebrew the hill of ascension, because of course, again, the elites believe they are going to ascend. I also found it interesting, these 10 red curtains that are on the stage here. 10 just happens to be X in Roman numerals and represents, in my opinion, the pagan cross of Tammuz. So I believe we're being shown good old Tammuz symbolism, the false messiah, the symbol of the false messiah right in our faces in a very cryptic way. But what's most fascinating is this symbol in the middle. I believe this is possibly a representation of the mother goddess Isis and Ishtar. We've got the female in the middle. We've got the crescent moon here, which I believe this is possibly making in the circle, the womb of Isis. And so when we look at, images of Isis, again, we see the moon symbolism. Isis, Ishtar, or the mother goddess is always depicted with the moon. Of course, the false messiah or Nimrod is always depicted with the sun god worship. But again, Isis worship constantly depicted with the moon. We see the moonlight in the background, the same kind of thing constantly, this moon worship, which again has to do with Isis, the mother goddess. Same with the Muslims, they worship the moon, they worship Isis, and they don't even realize what they are worshiping. All right, so the same kind of thing I believe is being shown here, this particular logo of Gilead, thinking that they're on the hill of ascension, that they're going to ascend to the next level, and showing the womb of Isis, which I believe, they are using these handmaids as their womb so that they can propagate their race, so that the elites can live on and keep bringing their chaos all over the world. And this next scene I find really sad, even though this handmaid has an eerily blissful smile on her face, but looks to have been physically abused. That is really sad to me, because again, we as men, we are commanded to love our women, to love our wives. We are to take care of them. We are to cherish them. We are to give them the love and the dignity that they deserve. We are supposed to take care of our women. This is what is commanded to us. If we want to be respected as men, then we need to be taking care of our women. We need to be loving them. We need to be fulfilling their needs. We need to be treating them with dignity. We need to be cherishing them. But I just hate seeing a woman being abused, even though this is a television show, but still, I just find that a very sad case. But as we get back to the symbolism, I also find it quite interesting that this is possibly the Illuminati all seeing one eye in our faces again, showing us that possibly the beast kingdom is coming very soon. I won't be surprised if that's what they're showing us. And the next scene to me is quite telling, because as they say, what we have achieved, we see this one-eyed handmaid is pregnant, okay, and the rays of the sun are upon her. So is this showing again a depiction of Isis being impregnated by the sun rays of Nimrod? So is this showing a blessing of Nimrod as well? Are we being shown that the child to come from the one-eyed handmaid will be the illumined one himself, the beast, the false messiah, Tammuz, the resurrection of Nimrod? Is this what we're being shown here very cryptically? And, in my opinion, pretty much in our faces here. Again, the rays of the sun all over this woman, this pregnant, one-eyed handmaid. And as we keep going, we see a scene with the commander who says, we only wanted to make the world better, but that doesn't mean better for everyone. So really, again, the truth in plain sight here. We are all being lied to by the world leaders about, a better world that's coming, as it's only for the elites. I remember even Barack Obama, when he was still the president, he would give these great speeches talking about how everyone's going to have a fair shot, that this new world order is coming and it's going to be great for everyone, even when they give their spiel about climate change and thinking that they're going to save the world. But really, all they are talking about is themselves. Their world is only about the elites. It's not about the general public. So again, they are lying to people constantly on a regular basis. And as we keep going, we see this evil mistress telling Ophrah that, remember your scripture, blessed are the meek. And Ophrah says, and blessed are those who suffer for the cause of righteousness. So all this while Ophrah is being beaten by this evil person, it really reminds me of that movie that we did another video on called Colonia, Dignidad. And again, we saw it was just a radical Roman Catholic kind of cult that rose up. Again, pagan cross of Tammuz right in your face. Women were being degraded. They are being beaten and tortured for every little thing. And so the same kind of New World Order, religion being forced upon people and people being made to do things that really was against their will, the same kind of thing I believe we're being shown in this television series. And I think this is, of course, as they quote these scriptures, this is definitely a major perversion of scripture here, as this pertains to people who actually believe in the word of Yahweh. These are words right from the words of Yeshua himself. This is not to be used for people, the Bible is not to be used for people with their sick purposes. So again, a major perversion of scripture, I believe, is being shown here. And of course, it ends with yet again major red, black, and white New World Order color symbolism. So as always, in many of these TV shows and movies, the same color theme is constantly being thrown in our faces because, as I've said many times, and many of you are seeing it for yourself, the New World Order is coming. The symbolism is all over the place. They constantly use even these same colors over and over and over again. And so that is not a coincidence. This is something that we are being predictably programmed to get ready for. Society is being shown many things. And, as I'm just going to show you a few more things from the internet. Wikipedia actually has an article or a write-up about the actual original novel of this particular, where this TV show comes from. Again, it was written by Margaret Atwood. She just happens to be a Canadian. And what I find quite interesting is that it says in the plot summary that this begins with a staged attack, okay, that kills the president. We've spoken about the fact that Trump could be possibly assassinated. There's many clues being put out there about Trump being assassinated. So again, a staged attack that kills the president and most of Congress, a Christian fundamentalist movement calling itself the Sons of Jacob. Now that's what I found quite fascinating here. They call themselves the Sons of Jacob. But when I heard that, right away I thought of this guy, good old Jacob Rothschild. Many of you are familiar with this man. He is one of the top elite people and from the wealthiest families of the world. So he is a major Freemason, Illuminati, a Zionist person. He is definitely behind a lot of what is going on in the world today. And, I found this article very fascinating back from 2016, the 5 biggest threats to humanity exposed. And what they actually talk about are the 5 people or families that are responsible for what is going on in this world. It says these individual families are the real people behind our political corruption, our world's destruction, and our economic enslavement. It's time the world learned their names. So they bring up the Rockefellers, who we've already spoken about. They bring up Henry Kissinger. We know a lot about him. They bring up Larry Summers. They bring up George Soros, go figure. And of course, they bring up the Rothschilds. And these people are all Illuminati, Kabbalistic Jewish people. They are definitely not for the true Messiah. They are for the false Messiah. They follow the light of Lucifer, which is the false light. It says, last but not least, we have the Rothschild family. The Rothschilds are arguably the richest family in the world and essentially own a majority of the world's central banks, which are private institutions in most countries, as well as the international, or the IMF and the World Bank. The Rothschilds' well-known patriarch, Mayor Marshal Rothschild, once said, "Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws." This has been the maxim of the Rothschild family ever since. The Rothschilds are also responsible for Zionism, a racist ideology opposed by many Jews. So many normal Jews, they oppose that ideology of Zionism. It is very racist. And the state of Israel, which has caused numerous wars in the Middle East in its short history and is responsible for the unbelievable suffering of the Palestinian people. With so much money and so much power, the Rothschilds have incredible amounts of influence in the US and international politics, even so much so that Hillary Clinton has begged them forgiveness in leaked emails. This one family has the power to economically destroy any nation that doesn't do what the Rothschilds want. So again, I found it quite interesting that this book, or the movement that took down the government, that staged the attack on the president, took out the Congress, and suspended the Constitution, was called the Sons of Jacob. I think that is a in our faces cryptic, or not even cryptic, in our faces hint or clue that the Rothschilds, the Zionist Illuminati, will be all behind the New World Order that is coming. They are behind all the programming. They own Hollywood. They put out this kind of propaganda. So it shouldn't surprise any of us that this group is called the Sons of Jacob, which possibly is a hint to Jacob Rothschild and his cronies. So do not be deceived. We are being shown the same themes over and over again. In fact, this same TV show and novel was already made into a movie back in 1990. It starred Robert Duvall and Aidan Quinn. Even Faye Dunaway was in it. But in 1990, here we are in 2017, almost 30 years later, and a TV show is now coming out about the very same novel and this same movie. Again, a dystopian society, polluted right-wing religious tyranny. A young woman is put in sexual slavery on account of her now rare fertility. So again, almost 30 years ago, this aired on the big screen. Okay, it was almost a 2-hour feature film. So yet again, the same thing being shown for decades. So we are being programmed like crazy. This is nothing new. Just as Ecclesiastes 1 verse 6 says that there is nothing new under the sun. What's been done before will be done again. So again, to recap, The Handmaid's Tale, in my opinion, is all about New World Order propaganda. The rights of women being stripped, that the rights of the general public will be taken care of by martial law, that there's order coming out of chaos, that they're going to cause something, they're going to stage an attack, possibly the U.S. president, Donald Trump has been made, there have been many cryptic hints for Trump being assassinated, or, possibly the U.S. president being assassinated, and out of the chaos that ensues, the New World Order will arise, and possibly a very fascist dictatorship will arise in America. That is possibly coming very soon. I believe that the elites need to take down America. They need to take down the Constitution, because they know that is the one thing that is protecting society. This new beginning is coming very soon, and this is what I believe this particular television series is all about. So as always, I thank you for watching. Please do not believe anything that I say. Do your own research, but be aware of what is being shown to us in plain sight.
I had another name, but it's forbidden now.
The Handmaid's Tale is based upon Margaret Atwood's classic book, and it's really a dystopian world. It's where an extreme regime really raises up and says, we have a better way.
They filled the air with chemicals and radiation. So God whipped up a special plague, the plague of infertility.
I play a woman who is fertile, and any fertile woman is captured, enslaved.
The circumstances are not pleasant for everyone, and we watch all these characters deal with that.
We only wanted to make the world better.
Better.
Better never means better for everyone.
The commander finds hope in this newly orchestrated world order, Gilead.
It is unquestionably a dark world, but it's not a dark show. The show is about perspective and not losing the hope of getting your wife back.
I think the show does well of showing us how this reality can occur. It seems far away, but it also seems like it could be so close.
We'll find her. I swear.
Here's this character stripped of everything, of her rights, of her family, of her friends, and she still can't quite give up.